The EDIFY Show with special guest, Neal McDonough. And now, the host of The EDIFY Show, Elliot Wallach.
Hi everybody, welcome to The EDIFY Show. I've got a fantastic interview today with Neal McDonough. I am a huge fan of his work. If he doesn't look familiar to you, honestly, he should. He's played in so much. He's been in everything from Star Trek First Contact, Minority Report, Walking Tall, Captain America, Flash, Arrow, Suits, Yellowstone. One of my favorite pieces of his work, though, it was actually one of the first time I'd ever seen him, was Band of Brothers. Holy smokes. He was absolutely incredible. The series is incredible. He was incredible in it. But you know what? As much of a fan I am of his work, I am a huge fan of him. If you don't know anything about what he's done, Google him and look it up. You're not going to have to look far to find out just how much this guy risked and put on the line for his faith and his principles. He's absolutely a man that lives his faith, and there's just no way there's no way you can't respect that. And right now, he's poured everything into a movie that's coming out May 23rd called The Last Rodeo. I've seen it. I loved it. It's definitely a feel-good film. I'm so excited to talk to him about it. Neal, thanks so much for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me on the show. I truly appreciate it.
I'm in Spokane, Washington. And
one of my favorite places on the planet.
I would love it if you moved here.
Oh, I'd love it. You know, I tried to get our oldest, he's at University of San Francisco. He wanted a Jesuit education with D1 golf. And it was Gonzaga or University of San Francisco, and he chose San Francisco to be closer to home, which I'm glad he did, and it's a great school. But Gonzaga, Spokane, we did a movie a couple of years ago called Boone that we shot up there. And I just fell in love with the people of the Spoke. And you know, the people up there are just so kind and genuine. I loved the weather up there. I loved the seasons. It was one of those fantastic places. With 5 kids, I hope that one of them goes to Gonzaga, because I think that would just be a fantastic thing.
Yeah, my son goes to Gonzaga. He's actually going to graduate this year with a degree in computer science, so go Zags. But I actually had known that you'd been up here. You actually met one of my very dear friends. I'm going to show you a picture of him here real quick because I brought it, but you were so kind to him.
I remember it. I remember like it was yesterday. Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
I know. It's like the world was robbed. It was like another casualty of COVID. We were all robbed of the full face picture of you two. I'm going to have to Photoshop it in. So my friend knows more about movies than just about anybody I know. He's a huge fan of yours, and I am too, frankly. I've been so excited to talk to you for so many reasons. I did an interview for Homestead, and I'm really enjoying that series. And I was in the military. I was such a fan of Band of Brothers.
Band of Brothers is one of those things that changed my life immensely. My dad was in the Army, came over from Ireland, walked straight into an Army office and said, "Make me an American." So he had so much pride in becoming an American. My mom and dad both from Ireland, that when I did Band of Brothers and getting to know Buck Compton the way that I did, and the way that he became my other dad, was just, what a gift that was. And all those guys are still all my buddies. We have daily text threads that are just beautiful, obscene, awful, funny, poignant, calling each other out, and it's just awesome. But the greatest part of it, of course, is I met my wife, Reve, the very first day I got to town in London all those years ago. So Band of Brothers was a pivotal moment in my life for sure.
I found something, and you could tell me if this is true or not, but at one point you were actually thinking about leaving acting, and then you had that one audition for Band of Brothers, which changed your life massively. Is that true? Like, is that a correct thing?
Yeah, I'd been in the business for several years and was doing fairly well at it, but I wasn't getting to that next level. And I was just kind of lonely. It just didn't, couldn't find a woman that I wanted to get married to, and I wanted to get married. I wanted to have kids, and I just couldn't find it. So I said, I'm just going to go back home to Cape Cod, Massachusetts, and work for my dad at our small little mom and pop motel that we had growing up. And then I got a call from a friend of mine and said, Steven Spielberg is looking for you. I'm like, me? Yeah, he wants you for this thing called Band of Brothers. He goes, what's that? And he tells me what it is. He goes, when's the audition? He said, tomorrow. I'm like, oh boy. So I got a one-way ticket. I remember it was $693 to fly out to Los Angeles, and I auditioned the next day, and that audition process went on for the next 3 or 4 months, and I had to sleep on my friend's floor of his closet in a sleeping bag, waiting to see what the final verdict was. And we had to go back and audition a few times, and I finally got the part. And then I get to London right after that, and the first day there, I meet my wife. And, God had a plan for me. And some people's plan happened when they're really young. Some people's plan takes a little bit longer. Mine took a little bit longer, and I didn't start having kids till I was 40, and then I had 5 of them. So to say that I'm blessed would be an understatement. To have to go through the ups and downs, and I went through some serious downs at one point that kind of called me out on my faith, and to see what kind of man I really was, if I truly was a man of faith. And at the time, it was brutal. I had everything taken away from me and lost it all and had to start all over again. But when I started back up, I gave up. At the time, going through that pain, I drank so much whiskey that I like a bad country song. And then finally, Revé called me out, and I stopped 10 years ago. And in the last 10 years, here we are now about to produce our 11th movie together. And my favorite of all of them is the one that comes out Memorial Day weekend, The Last Rodeo, that I wrote and produced with Revé. She's in the movie with me. John Avnet, the incredible director, directed the film. Michael T. Williamson, Bubba Gump, is my best friend in the film. Christopher McDonald, Shooter Gavin from Happy Gilmore, is in the film with us. And it's just one of those films that I can't even say that I'm proud of it. It goes well beyond that. The inspiration behind the whole film, we were doing a film at the time called The Warrant, and I was particularly sad that day because Revé and the kids weren't with me. And I was staring out, and I see the horses, and I'm looking around. I'm like, what would ever happen to me if something happened to Revé? And then all of a sudden, this idea came into my head, which I know is a gift from above, saying, write Rocky on a bull for a granddad. Like, what? Where did that come from? And then all of a sudden, within 24 hours, I kind of charted out what the script was, and I called my writing partner. Within a week, we had our first draft. And it all stemmed from what would happen if something happened to Revé in my personal life. And Revé is everything to me in my life. She's my manager. I don't have agents and managers. She's my manager. She's my production partner. She's my partner in everything, and what a great parent she is, and a great mom she is, and a great wife she is. And to have that in my life and to be where I am now is just a gift from above. So I don't take that lightly. And now that I get to write films that give glory to him and get to infuse the love that I have for my wife at the same time, I don't know how you beat that. And if you love films that give glory to him, and you can bring the whole family to go see the film, not just saccharine, sweet films, but an actually great movie that has edge, that calls you out on your faith. What kind of man or woman are you of faith? Then this is your type of film. If you love rodeo action, holy smokes, it's just incredible to watch. And the father-daughter relationship is broken, and it mends itself by the end. These are all things that we all go through in life. And I'm so proud of this film, but if this is the kind of films that you love to see, you have to go to the movie theater to see it and support this film and tell Hollywood we're tired of all the darker, crazier stuff that they're making. We want stuff that actually gives glory to him and talks about family.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. And yeah, you could send a message to Hollywood, but more importantly, I think people that see it, you're going to send a message to yourself. I mean, it was really moving. It was a really inspiring film. But you answered one of the questions I really had, because like I say, I've been a fan, but I love your journey and how you put yourself out there and risked your career for your principles. I saw the parallels, but I was so curious, why rodeo? I mean, because as far as I know you're an athlete, but I think you were like a baseball player, right? I mean, I didn't see any rodeo background. Like, I was like, where did that come from?
Elliot, I'd never really seen a bull riding competition. So I knew so little about it. And now to be part of the PBR, here's what I love about the PBR. There's so many things. Sean Gleason, the president of the PBR, has put on such an amazing show. Each night there's pyrotechnics, there's great bull riding, there's action, but there's two things that I love so much about the PBR and what Sean Gleason has done with the PBR. Everyone in that stadium is rooting for every single rider to get to 8 seconds. They want them to fall off at 3 or 4. They want them to get to 8 seconds. So unlike other sporting events where half of the audience is hoping that the other team fails, it creates this kind of aggressiveness when you go to these big major sporting events. That's the opposite of what happens at PBR events. Everyone's rooting. So it's this family atmosphere. There aren't guys getting drunk at the bar, getting in fight. I mean, you never see a fight at a PBR event. You don't see those types of things. You see kids and you see families and you see extended families. And I just love that feeling when you get in there. But the other part is every PBR event starts off with a prayer that every man takes their hat off, everyone's holding hands, everyone's head is bowed, and they talk about the greatness of God before the event even starts. No other event does it like PBR. So to have faith and family in the foreground of what they are is exactly the same as what the McDonough Company is doing in all of our films, having faith and family in the foreground of what we do. So to have those types of films out there, if you love that type of atmosphere, you have to go and support films like this. This is David and Goliath. We are David. That weekend is Memorial Day weekend. It's the biggest weekend for films. And Mission Impossible is out. Lilo and Stitch is out. All these big tentpole films are out there. But this little film of $8.5 million is something that could shake the world up quite a bit if everyone goes out to support it. So I'm here asking you all, if this is the type of film that you want to see more of and you're tired of seeing all the darker, crazier fare that comes out of Hollywood, go support The Last Rodeo or films like The Last Rodeo and everything that Angel Studios is doing. Family first, me second. And that's what we live by. That's what Angel lives by. And that's what our films are all about.
And to make movies like this that could inspire someone to change the life, that's got to be really rewarding.
If someone came to you and said, Elliot, here's a chance, I'm giving you a chance to impact people's lives through film, what would you do? You'd dig deep to make sure that you do exactly that. You want to make sure that you entertain people. My dad always said, when you go to Hollywood, if they give you $1, give them $2 worth of effort. Well, The Last Rodeo, Reve and I gave $3 worth of effort. We gave it all. We poured it all into it. We, hired all the people that we love so much. John Avnet, the director, who's been a mentor to me since Boomtown 25 years ago, and 88 Minutes, and all the Justified shows that we did together. He was my first choice. Michael T. Williamson, who's Bubba Gump, he's one of my closest friends in Hollywood. I said, you're going to play Charlie in this film. And Christopher McDonald, who's, again, one of my closest pals, because you're going to be the ringleader. And we're going to make a great film, and we're going to put our work in, and we're going to make something great, not just for ourselves, but for the people who are going to watch the films, but also give glory to him at the same time. Do you want to come on this journey with him? And everyone was like, absolutely, would love to be part of this journey. And those are the films that we're making at the McDonough Company. And the more you guys come and support these films, it gives us the opportunity to keep on making those films. And, it's something that I take so seriously, that the amount of enjoyment that I have knowing that we're doing the right stuff, money can't buy that. The success that we have from all the films we've done, and all the films we've made have turned a profit, which is kind of incredible. It's because God put us on this path of making films that give glory to him and showing everyone, if you live a certain way, great things will happen to you. 10 years ago, I was penniless. I had nothing. They took everything away from me. And now that I'm about to do my 11th production that I'm getting to write and produce with my wife, Reve, getting to do it with Angel Studios, and getting to sit here on your show, Elliot, talking about the greatness of Gonzaga, greatness of Spokane, the greatness of the United States of America, and the greatness of God. Holy smokes, how did I get here? And it's all through his grace that I'm here. So to say that I'm a blessed guy is quite an understatement.
Yeah, I was impressed with you before I even saw you do clap push-ups. But then to know you wrote it and acted in it and produced it while you and your wife have 5 kids. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, there's got to be a passion to see you through that. It's impossible to do that. I mean, for money. I mean, it had so much heart. I loved it. I love the film.
Thank you. No, I don't really do anything for money. I do it because it's, as corny as it sounds, is that if someone gives the opportunity to do something right, I feel this weight on me that I have to do it, and I have to do it to the best of my ability and do it right for him. It's, like right now, we have the biggest film of my life. I've never been a hero in a movie. I've never been the guy who gets to kiss the girl at the end of the film because I just wouldn't do that stuff. But I've gotten to the point now where finally I get to write and produce films that I want to see put out there, that I know gives glory to him, and I get to kiss the girl in the end. And I told Reve, I said, look, in this film, there are 3 flashbacks. And in one of the flashbacks, I have to kiss my wife. And there's only one person I'm going to kiss. It's you. So you have to be an actress in the film. And she was like, no, I'm not an actress. I'm behind the scenes. I'm like, no, you got to do this, honey. And she did it. And you saw it. She was fantastic in it. and I get to finally kiss the girl at the end of a film. At 59 years old, I've been in this business for 30-something years, and this is the first time I've had the opportunity to do it my way, and I'm finally doing it my way. And when I say my way, it really means his way. And that he's given me this opportunity to tell great stories with great directors and a great company like Angel. My goodness, it's fantastic. And I hope I get to make more movies like this for years and years and years to come, for everyone out there to be able to go to the theater with their extended family, invite the milkman, invite the postman, invite everyone to the film, because this is one of those films that you're going to be entertained, but you're also going to be challenged. What kind of person am I? If I really am a person of faith, do I really live by those codes? And my character, Joe Wainwright, has lost all his faith. Horrible things have happened to him in his life. Kind of what happened to me. Joe Wainwright and Neal McDonough are kind of the same guy. And he thinks he can get through it, his way, but he can't. And until he finds his faith, then he finds true success. And then it isn't about winning or losing. It's just about doing the right thing. And that's what Joe Wainwright does, and I'm just so proud to be part of this.
Yeah, it's impossible to unpack all that in this amount of time, but that's what I recognize, because like I said, I saw a lot of parallels. The way I see it is, it's like pre-Band of Brothers. You're thinking, maybe I'm going to step away from this work, and then God just said, no, you're not. And then your life changed massively. Band of Brothers, Minority Report, and more credits than I could hope to mention. And then here we are. You were prepared to walk away from all of it for your own principles. And then as it turned out, all of it kind of walked away from you. And I love how you took us there. And even in this interview, and I love how authentic and vulnerable you were with it. And then I love how you took us there in this film.
Oh, Joe Wainwright's is really my life story. To go through all the hard things that I had to go through. And at the time, my gosh, I wouldn't have wished that upon anyone. And, to lose everything and to build it back up again is a gift that at the time I thought was the worst thing that could possibly ever happen to a guy like me. And then to turn it around into a position that I am right now, becoming clearer of mind by giving up alcohol, by giving up all those negative thoughts and thinking positively about life, and realizing that I had Reve, that I had these kids, that I had this life that maybe I was taking for granted a little bit, and I was challenged by him to dig deeper. If you profess you're a man of faith, well, then you gotta back it up. And that's what Joe Wainwright's all about. And that's what, my career is now all about, by backing up what I always wanted to be. And that is a man of faith. And I always say I have one boss, and that's God. He's my boss, and I want to make my boss happy. And if I make my boss happy, great things happen to me in my life without me even asking for it. And before you know it, all those little things that you think you want in your life, you don't really need. The things that you need in life is really just love and faith. And if you have those things, like Joe Wainwright finally found out by the end of the film, if you have those things, nothing else really matters. Nothing else. You're not tempted by all the other things. Love and faith is everything, and that's what this film's about.
Yeah, I totally agree. Okay, you guys, this comes out May 23rd, and this is not what I would call like a heavy-handed faith film. This is an inspirational. This is like a Blind Side. This is like It's a Wonderful Life. This is something that you will leave the theaters, and you could feel yourself change. You're going to feel good. I highly encourage everyone to see it. Neal, thanks so much for coming on the program and talking about it.
Go to the theater, everyone. Support the film, and God bless every one of you. Elliot, thank you so much.
Okay, you guys, you can find The Last Rodeo. It's going to be in theaters May 23rd. You can go to angel.com to find a theater near you. Again, 2 thumbs up from Edify. Highly recommend it. And you know what? Neal McDonough, he's truthfully one of the good guys. You always wonder how somebody is behind the camera. I've seen it with my friend firsthand. He's a great guy. What you're seeing is really who this guy is. I encourage everyone to support what he's trying to do, especially this film. I mean, the guy poured everything into it. He wrote it, he acted it, he produced it. He's putting everything on the line, basically to entertain us and inspire us. And that's actually not even the reason to see it. It's a phenomenal film. You guys are going to love it. You're going to leave the theater better than you walked in. I guarantee it. It's terrific. And until then, we'll see you guys next time on The Edify Show.
Thanks for watching The Edify Show. And don't forget to like and subscribe. We also love to see your comments. Never miss a thing when you register for the newsletter at hearties.com. where people around the world are coming to support inspiring entertainment. And we'll see you next time on The Edify Show.